Greetings, homeschool families, and welcome to Hope Homeschool Academy to our 2019-20 academic year. We are trying something new where we're going to do an online informational meeting, and hopefully that will answer all the questions that you might have. First, I want to tell you a little bit about who we are. We are a private Christian hybrid homeschool, and we serve all the families of Southwest Missouri. I also want to tell you a little bit about who we are as a group and as who our people are. I'm Amber Clark. I'm the founder and owner of Hope Homeschool Academy, and in the day-to-day, I wear a lot of hats. I am the director of the school. I also am the special education coordinator here. I am also the upper classroom teacher. I have several degrees in education. I'm also working on my doctorate in educational psychology in special and gifted education. I've had a lot of experience working with a variety of students with a variety of different needs. This is my 4th year as a hybrid homeschool teacher. I'm a homeschool mom. I homeschooled my 3 adult stepchildren all through high school, and I've been homeschooling my 9-year-old daughter since she was born. Robin Hoover is another founding member of our school. She also wears many hats. She has just recently accepted the role of assistant director of our school. She's the owner of Hoover Academy, where she does tutoring for her students. She is also our lead elementary classroom teacher. She also has several degrees related to education. She's got a master's in deaf and hard of hearing education for K through 12 students. She's certified in early childhood special education and has a lot of experience with special education and working with different kinds of students that have different needs. She is also in her 4th year as a hybrid homeschool teacher. At a previous school, she taught kindergarten for 2 years, and then this is her 2nd year as our elementary classroom teacher. And she is also the homeschool mom of 2 children. So I also wanted to tell you a little bit about our foundational principles. We are, in fact, a school. We are not a co-op. We are a private school with a focus on academics. We're a Christian school with a non-denominational worldview, so we accept students of all different Christian denominations. We have qualified teachers who work with our students on Mondays and Wednesdays, so we're 2/5 Academy. And then we have parents who teach at home on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, so we're 3/5 homeschool. We are not regulated in Missouri as a private school, and we're also a private school and not a co-op, so the academic records that we keep replace logging your homeschool hours if you're used to doing that. We're also working towards accreditation, which should be happening within the next year, and that will work retroactively as well. But that will let us provide accredited transcripts and accredited permanent records for your students. So our mission statement says that our mission is to prepare and encourage our students to become self-directed lifelong learners, grounded in a Christian worldview, to become productive members of the 21st century who love God and love one another. If you like, you can read a little bit more about that on our website at this link right here. That will tell you all about our mission and our philosophy and our statement of faith and more about who we are and what we believe. So I also wanted to tell you a little bit about our mission and its meaning and the principles of our philosophy. So let's get started and we'll cover some of these key elements of our mission. So we are a hybrid homeschool academy, which seems a bit oxymoronic, but once you hear these definitions, maybe that will help. First and foremost, we are a homeschool. We follow the homeschool ethic. So we believe that parents are the sole authority for education, and that homeschool is an educational experience wherein parents work with the students at home and in which parents are the first authority on each major educational decision. Then we have, let's see, got to look through my notes here. I have a bit of a soapbox for you. Then we have the academy, which provides some discipline and some structure, as well as a community of learning. So officially, we believe that academy is a formal, structured environment of study and learning. And when you put these together with the academy and the homeschool, and you get our hybrid ethic, we believe that teachers work with parents to provide individualized instruction from a structured curriculum. So we provide the discipline, structure, and community of the academy, along with the individualization of education and the parental authority of homeschooling. So for example, I consider myself a classical educational technology psychologist. So that's a lot of oxymorons put together. But we serve a lot of LD students, which I believe stands for students who learn differently. And I believe that with neuroplasticity in the brain and the tools of different technologies, students that learn differently are capable of the highest quality of education, whether they have a quote learning disorder or if they're gifted. No matter what kind of learning your student does, they're capable of getting the highest quality of education, including the best parts of a classical education. So for example, one of our subjects is literature. We ask that our students read for about 15 minutes per day, 4 days a week, and then spend about 40 minutes at school having a discussion about the literature. And then they also spend maybe 20 minutes answering questions about the literature after we've discussed it, depending on their grade level. So that adds up to about 50 hours per year doing the literature subject. It's a core of classical education, quote, unquote. And then we do that in half the time of the traditional homeschool requirements. And that's with 10 times the quality of most public schools. But we can only accomplish that if the parents and teachers are partners in guiding the students to do their work at home and at school. So here we find that some things can best be done at school, like a book club style literature discussion, maybe an online style literature discussion. And some can best be done at home, like a Becca spelling test, where each student works with a different set of words each week. And that's why the partnership of the hybrid homeschool is so important to us. So then we move on. That's my soapbox with the hybrid homeschool philosophy and what we stand for. There are some other elements to our philosophy that are also very important to us. We're a Christian school. Our statement of faith is on our mission statement website. And we ask that all Hope families, students, parents, and staff agree to that. But basically it says that individuals whose primary expression of faith is their belief that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and the Savior of humanity. And as long as you can agree to that, then you're welcome here at our school. We are also a private school. We're not a nonprofit school, nor do we receive funding from the state. So our school and its philosophies are unhindered by authority other than that of God, parents, and teachers. So that's who gets to call the shots. We are also a non-denominational school. So we celebrate our differences. We use them as a tool to teach students how to have dialectic conversations with their parents, pastors, and with each other, depending on their developmental level. To explore truth as God intended, while still having a safe Christian educational environment in which to do that, and where we teach them to be kind to one another about any doctrinal differences. So that pretty much covers our basic tenets and philosophies. So please let me know if you have any more questions or concerns about that as well. So now I will let you know a little bit about our educational structure. We consider ourselves a Christian community of excellence. And one of the things that we've done to facilitate that is created some different types of teaching, some different hierarchies of teachers. So what we've done is we've created what we call rotations. And that kind of combines the best of both worlds of teacher-led and self-paced learning. Certain rotations are designed to be teacher-led, although it's not your typical open head, pour in knowledge format. We use multiple styles of group activities and discussion to engage the students in active learning. We also tend to use the flipped classroom model here so that students can do their prep work like reading a lesson or watching videos at home, and then they can spend their class time actively engaged in the learning activities that work best in a group setting. Other rotations, especially for grades 6 through 12, are designed to be more self-paced, with the teachers and teachers' assistants serving as one-on-one tutors for all the students in the classroom to help them achieve their daily goals. So at the top of the hierarchy, we kind of have our classroom teacher. That's going to be your main contact for your students' classroom information. They're responsible for working with your students and keeping records of their progress and facilitating your goals for them as well as their own educational goals. Then we have our rotation teachers. They're going to have some of the same qualifications. They are also going to be responsible for implementing the lesson plans that the classroom teacher has prepared. They will also help to maintain student grades and progress, of course, but your classroom teacher will be in charge of that. And then they individualize instruction for individual students as well as different groups of students. And finally, we have our teacher's assistant, who is going to have some experience working with children or some college education in that area. But they're also going to assist the classroom and rotation teachers in any way that they need to help individualize the instruction for your students, and maybe manage some different groups of students as they move from different activities. So that brings us to the structure of our day. All of our levels will do chapel at first thing in the morning, and they will have a Bible rotation where they write and recite verses that they're assigned throughout the year. We try to have all of the levels come together for a recess and lunch. And and occasionally a group time, a group activity, because that gives the upper grade students the opportunity to mentor our elementary students. And then it gives the elementary students the opportunity to work with older students that provide a great example of older Christian youth. We don't use the Bible curriculum, although you're more than welcome to assign one for your student. That is available because we want to be truly non-denominational. We want our chapel to set the tone for the day by discussing our common love for God and how to develop a Christian character through a general scriptural teaching. As non-denominational Christian educators, our role is to teach our students how to think critically with a foundation of basic Christian principles, and then we leave the denominational specifics up to the parents and to their church. We have a great music rotation. We have a music teacher who does music with the students once a week. We do art once a week, which this year we actually participated in the all-school art exhibit at Springfield Art Museum. Kids got so excited about that. That was a lot of fun. So that's pretty much everything for all of our different levels. Then we're going to have how the students are grouped, and that's changing as we grow all the time. So our elementary is level K through 5, and we speak in levels rather than in grades because we might have a third grade student working in level 2 math and level 5 history. So we only speak in levels. Grade doesn't matter as much. And then it kind of helps us separate out the groups as well. So we have our elementary class is levels K through 5. And within each group, there are only going to be 8 to 12 students per group. And so right now it looks like we'll have some combination of K1 together, second grade, third grade, and then I said we don't talk in grades, but we do a little bit. But it doesn't matter. We're level 2, level 3, and levels 4 through 5. Level 6 through 8 is going to be kind of our middle classroom. And again, this could evolve and change as we get as we grow and get more students. But each group of students will have no more than 12 to 15 students. And then our high school will also have the 12 to 15 student class size. The students are also grouped according to their need and not necessarily their ability. Sometimes their ability demonstrates their need, but we group them according to what they need and what your goals are for them. So now I want to talk a little bit about our curriculum. In levels K through 3, we use the Abeka curriculum for language, math, and phonics. And we also do in levels K and 1, kindergarten and 1, we do a little bit of the Abeka reading as well. So goal charts are used by all the elementary students. The classroom teacher is going to send those home to let parents know what's being done at school and what needs to be done at home. As the students move up in levels, and begin to use our online self-paced curriculum, which I'll tell you more about in a minute, they may still use goal charts, but the parents will be responsible for filling those out at that point. And our goal is to eventually transition the students and the parents to using the online system to keep track of the student goals and progress. Our elementary teacher is going to try to teach 3 to 4 Abeka lessons each week in each one of those subjects. Parents may be responsible for teaching some of those at home. They'll primarily do optional, depending on your students' need, work pages and definitely tests. As I mentioned, that's easier to individualize at home. They can choose their own. You are free to choose your own science and history curriculum, but we also supplement at school in science and history, and we teach supplemental lessons. So you can just use that. You can choose your own curriculum, or you can follow along with some of our unit studies that we have in our online curriculum. Let's see, as students move up into the level 3, you might be using some initial lessons. Don't worry about that. We'll talk more about that soon, and then you'll use the goal chart to support instruction at home. To the levels 3 through 12, and so as students get to level 3, we want to work on transitioning them into the self-paced curriculum. And what we use is the Alpha Omega Ignitia curriculum, and that is an online curriculum exclusively for private schools. It has a content very similar to that of its life packs, if you're familiar with those. This is a Christian faith-based curriculum, so all of its lessons are biblically based. One of the advantages of this curriculum is that they can update it as needed without having to print new editions and having us purchase new editions. This curriculum is wonderful because it provides a more modern interactive learning experience that helps engage the students. For example, they can watch videos and listen to short tutorials and follow links to external websites, but the links are very well monitored and well protected, and the videos are all kept ad-free and free of any problems that might come up. Alpha Omega is very careful and responsible about that. And they also can play games and things in their lessons. It's definitely not all fun and games, but it does definitely provide these digital native students quite a bit of a more engaging learning experience than just simply reading through the text. And that is what they do. They read through the text and watch videos and learn new concepts on their own. So it's self-paced, and that's what self-paced means. It's about 10 units per subject, and we encourage parents to try to get their students through all 10 units in a year. But what that year looks like for you and your family is going to be completely up to you. Ignitia is also quite customizable beyond just their existing curriculum. So what that means is that as teachers and professional educators, we at Hope can create or rearrange or add to or insert individualized courses for your students as a need arises. So for example, this year, occasionally I would have students who needed a quick math review. And so I would just real quick add a unit to their course list that included some videos and some exercises that let them do a quick math review and then move on. It really helps us to differentiate for the different needs of our students. It also allows students to take pre-tests in each subject. So if you have a student that is maybe needing to be a little bit more challenged, we can let them go through and take pre-tests at the beginning of each year and see if they can skip a level in one or more subjects. So it really just gives us a lot of versatility and individualization for the students. Another advantage of the online curriculum, it includes text-to-speech and highlights the words as the text is being read through audio to your student. with lots of different voices according to your students' preferences. And that not only does that allow any students who struggle with reading to go ahead and be able to get that concept in a self-paced curriculum, it also kind of helps rewire their brains a little bit as they watch those words being read to them and follow along with it. That can really increase the speed and fluency of the student's reading ability. It also provides some wonderful textual resources. Students can highlight and select a word that they're unfamiliar with and get a whole bunch of research information about that word. So it's a really great way to individualize for our students, and it really does make the self-paced learning process much more efficient. So our curriculum is parent-driven. You guys make the decisions. It's student-paced. Starting at level 3, we start working students into this self-paced online format. We recognize that as a developmental psychologist, I recognize that not all third graders are ready to start using a computer, and that's okay because we have a BECA curriculum for them. So in level 3, we start working them in that direction, but we're going to work with you on when they start doing that. So in levels 3 through 12, students will start working in the Alpha Omega Ignitia curriculum, where especially in levels 6 through 12, we're going to have customized Homeschool Academy courses that we've created that use some Memoria Press literature, some Dave Ramsey financial literacy courses that we're integrating into the online format, and we can individualize the courses for each student as we need to. The classroom teacher in these levels is going to provide kind of a one-on-one tutoring, individualized instructional support for your students at school. And then we can also, using the online system, send help messages back and forth to the parents and the students. So if students are really struggling with a concept that parents are unfamiliar with, then we can provide that outside help as well. The classroom teacher will spend quite a bit of time grading student work and providing feedback to parents and students on the progress that the students are making through the courses, using a variety of different tools. The parents, their responsibilities will be to supervise and assist students in their self-paced work. They're going to want to spend some time each day grading their students' work, knowing how their students are doing, concepts they're struggling with, concepts they need challenges in, and ultimately that's going to help them in their partnership with the teachers at school. So also we have a few things that we offer for the high school students in levels 9 through 12. All of those other things I just mentioned. Hope provides a meeting with the student and parent in the high school to develop an academic plan that's based on their academic and professional goals. So if you have a student that wants to do vocational work after high school, we can help prepare them for that. If you have a student that wants to attend a nice high-end college after high school, we'll help prepare them for that as well. Ignitia also provides us with some great career and technical courses. And then they also have some great college prep courses like ACT and SAT test prep courses. So we can enroll your students in that, and we can plan that as we meet each year. We also keep track of your students' high school transcripts and provide those for you. We provide support and guidance in preparing for college if that's what your student wants to do. Our school is also currently exploring options for dual enrollment partnerships with local and national Christian colleges. That includes like Bob Jones University and Liberty University on the national level. And then some of the local colleges I've talked with include Drury, Evangel, and OTC. And we're hoping to get that set up in the next year or so. We also host an official graduation ceremony for the Southwest Missouri homeschool community. That's open to all homeschoolers. This year, our school does have a graduating senior, so she'll participate in that ceremony. And as we grow, we may get to the point where we have smaller, more intimate ceremony just for Hope graduates. But the Southwest Missouri homeschool graduation is something that's really been wonderful for the homeschool community. So, and Glendale Baptist Church, where we are housed, they partner with us to provide that, and that has been a wonderful thing for the homeschool community here in Springfield. We also provide your students with an official high school diploma, and like I said, we're working on accreditation, so that should have the accredited status to go with it, even retroactively to this year. So that brings us to the enrollment process. So what you'll want to do is fill out an online application if you'd like to enroll. We also have a re-enrollment application for current students. You will meet with me, and it may be for placement testing, but we also have online placement testing, so we may just meet and discuss your goals and interests for your student and their education. Then you will kind of make choices about your curriculum, whether it's what courses you want your students to take, and or what history and science you want them to use. And then at the beginning of each school year or throughout the year on our website, we have our book lists and our supply lists. And we also have that in our student information system as well. So that finally brings us to the costs. This is a basic breakdown. We have a one-time application fee of $125, an annual maintenance fee that also serves as your tuition deposit, and that guarantees enrollment for your student for the academic year until enrollment is closed. We are actually closing our enrollment this school year. What we're going to do is the deadline for enrollment is for the first semester is going to be July 15th. Once that closes, you'll be able to get onto a wait list, and then if a spot opens up, your student can go ahead and come on in. If not, we will reopen enrollment for the second semester after July 15th, and that will close sometime in October. So that will allow us to adequately prepare for the number of students we're going to have each semester of the school year. So then you have your remaining tuition, which is $2,050. And you can pay that remainder on a monthly payment plan, a minimum of a monthly payment for 10 months. The full-time students receive multi-child discounts. So if you have more than one student, your second student gets 10% off of the annual tuition, and your subsequent children will get 20% off. Finally, our upper elementary, middle, and high school students using the Ignitia program will also be charged for their curriculum through us. That's going to be $150 per student plus $25 per year-long course. And we usually have about 6 of those. So depending on what you choose for your curriculum, that ends up being about $300 per your curriculum through Hope. Thank you so much for listening to my informational presentation here. This is what we do at our information meetings every year, and then we open it up for questions. So if you have any questions, find me on Facebook, call me on the phone, send me an email, anything. We will, I can set you up with a tour of the school, quick short tour on school days. And this summer I'll be doing plenty of tours for parents who are interested in signing their kids up. Thank you so much again, and I hope you have a wonderful time homeschooling your students.